News powered by FanDuel, bringing you everything from the opening line to the final score. And here is the white whale we've been seeking. I guess it's landed. Darren Dreger tweeting out that Mitch Marner has signed an 8-year deal with the Leafs and has been traded to Vegas. So we just had this conversation last hour about, superstars signing shorter-term deals. There's been a lot of rumors about Mitch maybe wanting a 3 or 4 or 5-year deal.
Give me the 8. Give me the 8.
But also there's, been some noise over the weekend and reporting about tampering and, do the Leafs maybe have Vegas in a position where they're going to trigger some sort of investigation? Do the Leafs even have the power to do that? I'm not sure. Was it poker in the end? Did Marner just desperately want 8? Did Marner potentially want the Leafs to get something? I doubt that was a part of this, but nevertheless, Mitch Marner's going to Vegas on an 8-year deal. So that's basically where he wraps up his career. Like, you have to believe it's a full no move, full no trade. Now, Vegas has been known to be ruthless.
I was just
right. They have been known to be ruthless in the past.
You just said.
If he stinks for 3 years, he'll be somewhere else.
Yeah,
Who
but
knows?
you just said, like, we have to think he'll be there the rest of his career. Ask Jonathan Marchessault and Marc-Andre Fleury and all of the guys.
Now,
like
they were free agents when they were told to leave, right?
I agree.
Like, you're right. Like, Fleury, I don't remember the exact details. They obviously pushed him down. Marchessault just signed somewhere else. But you're right. You're right, and I caught myself.
Nashville.
But we don't have the details yet on the trade. Like, it sounds like Nicholas Waugh is going to be a part of that, right? That he's going to be a piece that has been attached to the Leafs coming back this way.
Well,
we
what's
also
your
don't
take
have
on the value coming back, Hayes? Like, to get
how much can you really get, man?
You can't.
It kind of feels like the Kyle Lowry sign and trade. Remember that?
Exactly.
It was like Precious Achua and like a second rounder.
So
it wasn't
for fans
much.
that are saying, "Oh, you're getting screwed on the trade," like, the fact you're getting anything is something.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Unless Vegas had, if it's a massive deal, let's find out what the number is going to be. Because if it's a huge number, Vegas has to throw some people overboard. And it's not just Nick Hague and who else did they trade yesterday? It was Hague. And
Hague went to Nashville, and you're right. But
brought Colton Sissons back and guys like that.
And we don't know the number, just to clarify. All that is being reported is that Marner has signed the 8-year deal with the Leafs with the sign and trade in mind, so he's going to Vegas. But the cap hit's coming out. It's got to be more than what he was playing for. Like, he's not going to pull an Ekblad here to go to Vegas and sign for less than $10.9 million per. I can't imagine.
12.5, you think?
I wouldn't be surprised if it's the Rantanen deal. Like, maybe it's a bit more, right? Rantanen signed basically a sign and trade 8 years for $12 million per to go to Dallas, right? No state tax, very good team in the West.
Right.
How much more can it be than Rantanen? 12, maybe it's 12.5. If it's 13, I'm thinking that's an unbelievable deal for Marner.
Yeah,
but
I think it's 12,
12,
guys.
yeah.
I think it's 12. I think it's been reported that it's an 8 times 12, and that's what he's doing.
Yeah. So
It's
8
a
by
Rantanen
12.
deal.
8 by 12, which is literally the Rantanen deal. The exact same one he got.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like, that's the thing, though. Again, it was, Mitch is going to get the most money ever, and he could be the highest paid player in the league. And
he's getting 14. There's rumors that it's going to be north of 14, and he's the next one up. And it was like,
well, listen,
I don't know.
You know what? It might have been if he went to Anaheim or if he went to Chicago or one of those teams that were willing to, overspend to come into their situation.
Well, that's
8 times
coming.
12.
That's coming. The PR spin will be coming soon, right? Which would be interesting to try to win a PR in Vegas when he never cared about winning any PR in Toronto. But I wouldn't be surprised at all if that came out. It could have got 14
what PR
somewhere
in
else.
Vegas is what PR win? This is back to your PR thing. What PR is he winning in Vegas?
Well, if it gets spun that he could have got 14 somewhere else, but he took 12 in Vegas because he really liked it
They
there.
you
don't
think
care.
that fan base in Vegas
They
is
don't
going to
care.
be like,
maybe
this
they
guy's
don't. Maybe you're
this
right
guy's
because
a
they're
hero.
because they're an unconventional hockey market that probably doesn't know what the hell is going on half the time. So you're probably right. It probably doesn't matter, and that's why we don't even need to discuss
I don't think
that he
you had
could
to go
leave
as
somewhere
far as
else.
saying they don't know what the hell's going on half
Well,
the time.
but that's the point. If you're saying it doesn't matter, then that speaks to how you feel about them as a hockey market.
Well, you're right. Maybe they're. I just don't know their hockey market to be like they really won over the fan base with that contract and those comments. And I don't know if that happens in Vegas.
I'm just saying, remember Tavares when he came up here? Well, he could have got 13 in San Jose. It's like that was only benefiting Tavares.
Well,
he
you know
took
what I
less
said
to
when
be
that was
elite.
brought to my attention? I go, that's monkey business. I don't even care about that. They might have made that up.
Right. Well,
So
and
he
it doesn't
could've got
matter with Marner.
13.
And Marner never got there. But I do wonder, like this would suggest, he obviously was keenly aware that Vegas was in on him and he wanted to go to Vegas. And the question I'm curious about is how long has he made up his mind that was going to be the case?
Well,
Was it last summer? Was it at the trade deadline?
You're really horny about that
Yeah.
question.
I'm
aren't
very curious about it.
well, keep in
Very
mind.
curious about
keep
it.
in mind, Brian, it might have been a higher number had they only had 7 years. The Leafs factoring in on the 8th year
Yep.
is big to bring the AAV down.
Yes,
Right?
definitely.
There's
Yeah,
another
that
wrinkle
is
in
a
there.
part of it as well, for sure. All right, here's Chris Johnston, our TSN Hockey Insider, joining us on the Maple Treader Hotline. So take us through the timeline here, Chris. Mitch signing an 8-year deal, $12 million per to go to Vegas. What do you know of what's coming back to Toronto, and how long has this been in the works?
I don't know exactly what the trade package is. I mean, it literally is a sign and trade, and what's been done at this point is the sign part. He had to sign an 8-year contract with the Leafs, technically before 11:59 p.m. tonight to do the trade, and so the trade call has yet to happen. I do believe Nicholas Waugh will be part of that deal, which is obviously his name has been attached since the weekend. And, what this does is I don't know if there's more included in that. I mean, this is breaking in real time. What this does is give Mitch Marner the chance to, put this all behind him to get an 8th year, which is what obviously has value. He gets the exact same contract that Mikko Rantanen signed in Dallas after his trade there at the deadline. And, for the Leafs, they're going to get something back. I mean, nothing, obviously, of Mitch Marner quality, but, something is better than nothing.
Yeah,
CJ,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Brian.
Go ahead.
CJ, just as far as Marner and his tenure here in Toronto, how do you think it'll be characterized? Hayes was bringing up the idea of him returning here. This is the end. What will you think the fan base and everybody in general will make of his time here in Toronto?
Well, it's going to be hot for a little while, I would think. I mean, at this point, obviously this is a big move, and this is someone who had the absolute right to free agency, of course, and he used it. But, I think that it's going to leave, there'll be some members of the fan base, I'm sure, that will, remember this, will be, thinking that this should never have happened, that type of thing. And so, we've seen in the past, I would think that whenever Vegas plays its first game in Toronto with Mitch Marner wearing gold, that's going to be, quite an occasion, pretty unique sight. And I would expect a lot of vitriol in the building. But, over time, these things tend to peter out a little bit. I was covering the Leafs daily when Tavares went back to what at the time was Nassau Coliseum for the first time after signing in Toronto, and you remember people throwing snakes and freaking out in the parking lot. I mean, over the years, he still gets booed there, but it's not quite as passionate, and there's probably a day where, in retirement, John Tavares will, be able to do something with the Islanders organization. I think over time, the same thing will happen here for Marner with the Leafs.